Hi, everybody. My name is Ember Kelley, and I'm the Director of Religious Education at the Fourth Universalist Society in the city of New York. I'm really excited to introduce our digital minimalism journey through Lent, which is a really special challenge that has kind of come together in these last few weeks. I have always been particularly motivated in the last 2 years to change my screen time habits. Once upon a time, I was the person spending like 6 hours a day on Twitter, just arguing with people, and multiple hours on Facebook, just scrolling through the feed. And over the last few years, I've really been on a journey to try and minimize my screen time and just have a little bit healthier phone habits. And so I decided that this Lent was going to be a special challenge for me. And I thought that I would share this as an opportunity to journey together through an effort to embrace digital minimalism. Lent is obviously a Christian tradition. It's very centered around giving something up and being sacrificial in the spirit of Easter and such. And so we acknowledge that Fourth Universalist is a very diverse community from a multitude of traditions. However, we believe that all of us kind of have this desire to do a little bit better with screen time in the middle of this pandemic. And my hope is that by framing it with this 40-ish day challenge, that we can all journey together in trying to just have a little bit healthier relationship with screen time. On my part, I've actually switched out my regular phone for a flip phone, and that is going to be a journey. And so I am trying to really, really, really simplify things. And I've set down some timers on my iPad to like tell me, okay, this is how long you have to do this thing, so that I'm not spending too much time. And I find that things like that are helpful. So some tips for you as you think about how to embrace this less screen time in such a challenging time. I would say that probably one of the easiest things to do is to start tracking your screen time. Most devices have some way to track it, and that should be easily accessible, very readable, and most of them even also break down like this specific thing took this long. So then you're not counting it against yourself if you were on a phone call for a really long time versus if you sat on Facebook for 8 hours in a day. So as you start tracking that, you can become aware of it and really start aiming for less screen time. Another thing that's been really helpful for me has been reducing notifications. Our phones are designed to have all of these notifications pop up and tell us uh, what we need to come see, that someone did something in a group that we're in on Facebook, someone posted something on their Instagram story. We better go check these things out. And it's this, feedback loop that they want you to click. So you go check it out and you spend time on their app because that makes money for them. They need their ad revenue. And so one of the things that you can do to help you start reducing that screen time is to flip and hit it off. Another thing that's really helpful, I can raise my hand to attest that I've done this a million times, but having like 30 tabs open on your browser, uh, it's not always the healthiest way to browse the internet. So close your tabs and just let yourself let go of your expectation that you're going to come back and read that news story a month later. Um, if possible, leave your phone at home when you leave the house. I find it really nice to go on walks and not be concerned. I actually bought a camera just so that I can bring that with if I truly see something that I want to take a picture of. Another thing is to not sleep next to your phone. So many of us, we sit in bed and scroll, scroll, scroll. Um, but if you don't sleep next to your phone, it helps make you have to get up to turn off an alarm in the morning, but it also stops you from this temptation of scrolling in your sleep. Um, Another really useful thing is leave your phone somewhere besides your pocket. If you're always, even while you're working from home, if it's always in your pocket, ready right there, you're going to pull out and be like, oh, I better see if I have any notifications. But if you pick someplace like a drawer and you put your phone there and just leave it there, it's there and you can come check on it every few hours. but it's not there constantly being a presence for you. One of the things that I also have found really helpful when I was on a regular laptop or a computer is to download a time tracker extension for the browser. Different browsers have different options available for these, and if you go ahead and like do a quick search to find out which tools like this are available on your browser, it should be pretty simple. I found a really great app on Android, and it's also available, I believe, on iOS, that helped me take a minute to think every time I logged on. I had to enter an intention and say, this is what I'm getting on my phone for. It's called ActuFlow, ActuFlow, and then you can set it to remind you. And so after a minute, it's asking you, are you doing this thing that you logged on for? And I find that that's a really great thing to make me think about, okay, why am I getting on my phone? And how much time do I actually need to do that? It's also really helpful to set times to use tech, like whether that's just putting it in your Google Calendar, maybe like literally setting timers. I found a few apps that might be helpful, but they're really varied costs. But look for an app or even just a regular clock that can say like, okay, I have this long that I can use YouTube in one day, so I need to keep track of how much I'm using YouTube, or I have this long that I can play video games. And so take that time to give yourself like an allotment, like this is a reasonable amount. For me, it was always my goal in the beginning part of my digital minimalism journey was 1 hour of phone time, besides not counting phone calls themselves. And 1 hour or 2 hours total of social time on a browser on the computer. So social time being like various websites with that social element with feeds that you're going to scroll through endlessly. Clear out your bookmarks, clear out your emails, clear out old files that you're sitting on forever. If you know that you haven't touched them in like 8 years and you're not really sure you're ever going to, it's okay to let go and delete them. So that's just some really beginner tips for this digital minimalism journey, and I'm really excited that this gets to be an effort that we can all journey through as a community. You don't have to be part of Fourth Universalist Society to join in this challenge. Everybody is welcome, whether you're watching this as just a stranger on YouTube or Facebook, and you've come across this video. I just would invite you to join in thinking that, hey, this Lent, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut my screen time. And I think that it's a really good thing to give up in this time that we're spending so much time on our devices. And so there is no formal sign up. This isn't something that I'm going to hound you and say, oh, did you only use 1 hour of screen time today? No, this is just something that I hope we can journey through all together. We will be making maybe some updates throughout the course of Lent. I can especially update you on switching over to a flip phone. And then another hope is that in July of this year, July 2021, we'll be planning a month of events centered around thinking about what is minimalism and what does that mean for our lives. Digital minimalism is obviously this effort to simplify our digital lives, our phones, our screens, our internet, but what can we do to simplify the rest of our lives? So that's going to be July of this year, 2021, that we're going to take some time to think about minimalism. And I will be sharing more about that as that time gets closer. So thank you all for watching this video. I hope that some of my tips have been helpful. And I just really look forward to journeying through digital minimalism with you.